is clear is that there is a need for this, and I would say these past 2 months, if anything, have put so much pressure on places that you experience in the physical world that have been completely shut down and need to exist, deserve to exist. Artists, performances, museums, travel destinations. I mean, it's all kind of places that historical places. I mean, festivals. I mean, it's that that alone is a significant market that will need this and will create an instant draw. And I think people will want those experiences, and creativity is going to come in terms of what are those experiences. Is it a copy of the physical experience, or is it something new? But these are the kind of environments where you can see, when everybody gets out of the anxiety phase that we're in right now, that there will be a new trajectory that everybody's going to draw. Everybody who's affected by this in this way is going to try to now take that curve. And I would bet that the timing's going to be perfect with whatever Apple and all the players that come up with hardware was, because it's going to be fresh in everybody's mind, and they're going to look at this and be like, that's it. Think about sports.
Oh yeah, we did not talk about sports. I know how the fans are suffering now, like really physically suffering, not being able to see their favorite games and players. Absolutely.
So the things, there's a lot of that I think is we're still kind of in shock,
Mm-hmm.
And usually after a while, things settle, and we find our senses, and then look at some disruptive tech. And again, there's a lot of disruption. Other areas are important to what's going on right now, but in this specific area, I think there is tech that can really help that industry to survive and in fact thrive in a new way, with new business models, with kind of more of that experiential form of content that is harder also to steal, and to digitize and put for free on sites and everything. So it gives more room for artists, it gives more room for creators to be in control, at least for a while, to be in a space that is safe from the standpoint of them being able to make money out of their art and out of the creations. And I feel like these are industries that will propel this.
Absolutely. And the coolest thing is that technology will be a driver to what other industry or other players can accomplish in their worlds. Okay, so that's fantastic. So digital transformation is not just a word, it's really reality. And hey, coming up right with new platforms, new technology, it's going to help across the industry lines. So that's kind of hopefully pull us off right from where we are today. Right.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think there is so much. Again, it's. I know that if you haven't tried those things, it's difficult to conceptualize.
Mm-hmm.
But the ability to transport yourself somewhere else, even in areas like mental illnesses, and all kind of areas like that dealing with stress, education, putting yourself in an environment where you can completely immerse yourself in an environment that is so real that you can now be fully focused on the learning task again. So you're using the brain for what it's good at, which is taking in situations and using your what makes up more than 90% of your brain, which is is the needs to be trained, can be trained, so that things become more of a reflex. We're already saying quarterbacks, using VR to train themselves in certain situations to react, to train the brain to react without facing the risk of injuries by playing. So you can have set plays, and it's so realistic now that you can, repeat certain movements and kind of, reinforce your muscle memory, but without having to incur the physical toll on your body. So again, think about training people on how to deal with certain situation at the border, when somebody comes in, and how do I react, and how do I treat, it could completely transform these segments as well, and it will. And so I think it's, where does it start? The web didn't start to revolutionize everything at once. It started by specific areas, and then it moved to the next one because people start to realize that it can be applied to them as well.
I like the future you're describing, because I myself not all for robotics, okay? I'm not, what is it, trusting robot to cut my hair yet, all right? But the future that you're describing, it's some kind of appealing because the intention is to bring people together to kind of, right, make them achieve more. And I'm all for that, all right? So that's not scary at all.